This is ABC7 News at 5. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Good evening. I'm Haley Wilkes. Scott Dennis is on assignment. Thank you for joining us. Our top story tonight, a Sarasota County family's fight for a special exception to required standardized testing. ABC7's Kate Flexter is joining us now with how this decision could have a big impact. Kate.
Thank you, Haley. Florida's Department of Education ruled that 16-year-old Maddie Drew is exempt from that required testing. Now the girl's mother hopes this will set a precedent for other disabled students.
Who's Maddie? You're Maddie, aren't you?
16-year-old Maddie Drew has cerebral palsy and can only communicate by signing or using her iPad.
I love my dad. I love my dad.
But as a 10th grader at Oak Park School in Sarasota, she's still required to take Florida's standardized test.
She understands just about everything that's relevant to her, but as far as her getting that out and sharing what she knows, that's the hard part.
That's why her mother Paula requested a medical exemption from Florida's standard alternate assessment, a request that was denied with no opportunity for appeal. That's when she decided to challenge the decision.
Disabilities vary greatly and there is no one-size-fits-all test, so that's why I feel it's wrong.
Ultimately, the department sided in her favor, granting Maddie permanent exemption from the test.
Hopefully, by us fighting for it and getting acknowledged, it will help other people and it won't have to be so difficult, long and drawn out like it was for us.
Civil rights attorney Andrea Mogensen says the idea of giving the same test to all disabled students is flawed.
There's a broad range of disabilities, and the way that an individual's disability may interfere with their ability to meaningfully participate in the testing process.
Mogensen says this win could set a precedent for other parents who may challenge the testing system in the future, forcing the Board of Education to carefully review each case.
That's a big deal for disabled students, because if there's a decision that's incorrect, not factually based, or needs review, now they're going to get it.
That's exactly what Drew is hoping for, that her actions might encourage other parents to challenge those testing requirements.
Because a lot of people don't realize they have a voice and that they can stand up and fight things that they don't think are just.
We did reach out to Florida's Department of Education, but it declined to comment on this case. Haley?
Thank you, Kate. 7 people are now facing charges following a drug bust at a home in Venice. Detectives with the Sarasota County Sheriff's Office executed a search warrant at the home on Clemson Road. Inside, they say they found methamphetamine, prescription pills, and paraphernalia, including syringes, scales, and glass pipes. Jacqueline Smith and Chadwick Ernest are now facing charges for maintaining a nuisance dwelling, possession of meth, and drug paraphernalia. 6 others face various drug charges. The investigation is ongoing, and additional charges are pending. Hundreds of teenagers and their parents concerned about the heroin epidemic are expected to be at a movie theater in downtown Sarasota tonight to watch a documentary on early intervention. At this hour, community leaders are taking part in a roundtable discussion with some nationally known drug recovery speakers. ABC7's Ray Collins is joining us from the Community Foundation, where this discussion is just wrapping up. Ray.
Haley, hard to believe an area as beautiful as the Suncoast could have a real drug addiction problem, but sadly we do. Manatee County among some of the highest numbers in the state for addiction to heroin. Right now behind me, a meeting going on involving local law enforcement, judges, school officials, parents, and students, all listening to some national motivational speakers. And tonight they're going to go to Hollywood 20 and watch the movie you referenced. It's called Generation Found. They'll be joined by some 200 students and parents. It's a movie based on a Texas town near Houston that tried a program called peer-to-peer support with a huge success rate. Here is a preview of that movie right now.
Nothing had tackled the issue of where do these teenagers have to go.
It was so hard to try to figure out how much of this is a teenage behavior and how much of this is a problem.
We started asking questions like, where do you feel the lowest self-esteem?
The program is called Alternative Peer Recovery. It worked in Texas outside Houston, and right now some folks are here talking about how it worked there and how it could work here on the Suncoast. From here, they go downtown. We'll have much more next hour at 6. Haley, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Ray. Hopefully that program does help here. Sarasota County is moving forward with the plan to build a new Interstate 75 overpass. The overpass would interconnect the future Lakewood Ranch Boulevard and Cattleman Road. The county says it would help relieve traffic jams and congestion on University Parkway and Fruitville Road. The roadway connecting the overpass to Cattleman Road is also proposed to be added to the county's comprehensive plan. That would allow the county to pursue both state and federal funding for the projects.
This gives another alternative for drivers coming from the east side, where we expect a lot of development to occur in the next few years to next couple of decades.
You can learn more about the proposed overpass at a public workshop, which will take place on Tuesday, November 15th at 6:30 p.m. And now it's time to head over to Bob and get a check on our forecast.
Haley, kind of some interesting cloud formations causing some interesting things going on in the sky. This morning I saw a sundog. That's a result of a lot of ice crystals composed of the cirrus clouds composed of ice crystals moving in from the Gulf of Mexico. You can see that quite clearly on the satellite enhanced review. These are all high clouds, not producing any rainfall. In fact, Tower Cam right now getting a look at halo that has formed around the sun. And here is a live look of that halo that is now around the sun, and that's a direct result of the sun shining through those ice crystals, acting like a prism, and creating that nice halo that you see right there. And I'm sure a lot of photos will be sent in to pics@mysuncoast.com or to our Twitter account at mysuncoast. Again, send those in of that interesting halo. A lot of times when you see a halo like that, it usually indicates rainfall within 24 hours. It's not going to be the case here. That's more so for the areas north of our area that you typically see that. We'll have much more in our forecast coming up in a few minutes. Haley, back to you.
Thank you, Bob. On the upcoming ballot, voters in Florida will decide whether to approve medical marijuana in Florida. The city of Venice is already taking steps to implement regulations. ABC7's Christopher Brantley is joining us now live with what the city is doing now. Christopher.
Well, Haley, earlier today, the Venice City Council put into effect a moratorium on the sale of medical marijuana. That means no matter what happens on the November 8th ballot, the city of Venice wouldn't see any cannabis cultivation, production, or dispensaries for at least a year. According to city council members, at risk here is where dispensaries could be located and what kind of licenses would be necessary.
We don't know what the final ruling is going to be on medical marijuana, so it's very hard for us to draft an ordinance based upon unknowns.
We need to get all of the ramifications of such activity and research it thoroughly before a decision is made, and that's going to take some time. So I think a year would be sufficient in order to do so.
So even if medical marijuana passes on the ballot on November 8th, it would still not be legal within Venice city limits. Live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Christopher. And Venice is following in the footsteps of several other local governments. Today, Manatee County commissioners approved holding public hearings for a proposal of a 6-month moratorium on medical marijuana processing facilities and dispensaries. The moratorium would only apply to unincorporated parts of the county. City governments would be left to make their own decisions. Sarasota city leaders have already approved a 9-month moratorium to come up with ordinance to regulate dispensaries. And the Longboat Key Town Commission will vote on a 12-month moratorium for dispensaries next month. And now ABC7 business commentator Richard Stern is joining us. And Richard, a quiet day, but a down day on Wall Street.
Haley, you're absolutely right. It's kind of one step forward and one step back, and it seems like it's been months now that we've been seeing that. Very low volume, very little volatility. Today, the top to bottom range for the Dow Jones Industrial Average is only 90 points, and we had lots of earnings reports today and from some major league companies, Procter & Gamble, General Motors, Merck, Whirlpool, companies that really make this country go. And when all was said and done, we didn't go much of anywhere. The biggest move of the day was not very big at all. Let's take a look at the closing figures. There you see the Dow Jones Industrial Average down 53 points, 0.3%, closing at 18,169.27 on volume of 621 million shares. The biggest loser of the day today was the NASDAQ, and it was up 1% yesterday, down 0.5% today, 26 points, closing at 5,283.40. That on volume of 1,509 million shares. And of course, if those two are down, so is the S&P, down 0.4%, just over 8 points at 2,143.16. Well, today's the first day of the World Series, so you would think that anything having to do with athletics and Wall Street would do well, right? Wrong. Under Armour, which is the second largest apparel and sports maker next to Nike, today announced earnings that stunned Wall Street, stunned because they didn't show the same growth they've shown before. In fairness to Under Armour, they typically show sales growth of 20% a quarter. This time, heaven forbid, only 15%. A lot of that has to do with losing a customer by the name of Sports Authority, which I think you probably know has declared bankruptcy. And shares today, believe it or not, down 13%, Haley. That's a very big move in one day for a very big company. And as I say, their earnings really weren't bad. The sales were darn good, but not up to their prior expectations.
I remember when you've come on in the past and Under Armour was just surging, so sometimes it's hard to keep up with that level.
You've got a good memory.
and Richard, what about some late news on Apple?
Well, they announced their earnings today, but they didn't announce them till 4:30, 30 minutes after the market closed. A real quick glance says they were a little bit better than Wall Street was looking for, and I would be surprised if there's a major move in the stock tomorrow, but certainly it's going to move up and down a little bit, but I don't think Apple's going to go much of anywhere. It's trading right on around $118 a share.
All right. Thank you, Richard.
You're welcome.
And still to come on your Suncoast News, the battle is brewing in the Midwest as the Cleveland Indians and Chicago Cubs gear up for Game 1 of the World Series. We'll show you how this series is already making history. And ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your full weather forecast. Plus, later in Health Smart, could where your baby sleeps at night help reduce their risk of death? We'll take a look.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. We'll find out which Suncoast city is a city of kindness. Plus, Key to the Cure and Chef Judy has the best new restaurants.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
They say good things come to those that wait. Well, you've waited long enough. You deserve to feel fabulous in your fashionable new Fiat 500X from Alfa Romeo Fiat in Sarasota. Boldly innovative, seductively stylish. Fiat gives you everything you'd expect from a capable utility vehicle, like a spacious interior and advanced safety systems, designed and built like a sexy little Sportster. Don't wait any longer. You deserve to feel fabulous. Get a new Fiat at Alfa Romeo Fiat of Sarasota.
They care. They take the time to understand you, take the time to understand your case.
There's no better satisfaction to me than to see a client who is happy because of the job we've done for them.
It's really actually very comforting to know that there's someone that you've heard of and you're getting recommendations about that you can turn to when you have a problem.
I felt like I had a partner in this, and he was going to be by my side.
Sarasota Opera presents Donizetti's Don Pasquale. 6 performances from October 28th through November 13th. Reserve your tickets at sarasotaopera.org.
For your plumbing, electrical, or air conditioning, and services is qualified, and service calls are free. And services.com, A-N-D, services.com.
Selling your home? Insist on a 3D showcase tour from Gulf Shores Realty. Virtual tours are flat and boring and look more like a slideshow than a tour. A 3D tour from Gulf Shores Realty is like actually walking through the home without the drive. Get instant access to your next home from any device. Multiple views give homebuyers a perspective like no other. For a limited time, mention ABC7 and Gulf Shores Realty will provide a complimentary 3D tour with your new listing.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. Our promise means a new car you'll love. If not, return it for one you do. At Sarasota Ford, we promise live market pricing. We monitor national pricing on our entire inventory, so you get the best deal. In fact, we guarantee it. Bring us any competitor's ad, and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
The World Series showdown starts tonight with the Chicago Cubs and Cleveland Indians preparing to make history on the field. Fans have literally waited a lifetime for this, and not surprisingly, this could be the most expensive World Series ever. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has a preview of Game 1.
Tonight, the battle between the Chicago Cubs and the Cleveland Indians begins. Two teams hoping to end their championship droughts, and their superfans pumped and packed, ready for Game 1 in Cleveland.
I was ecstatic. I've been a Cubs fan my whole life, so it's amazing.
Chris Labonte scoring his Game 1 ticket for $600, and that's a bargain, with ticket tracking sites reporting game tickets selling for $700 and up to $5,000. Staggering when you consider the average cost of the World Series tickets last year was about $1,600. But for fans, the chance to witness history, priceless. And the players, well, they also know this is huge.
It's pretty special. I get to play on the biggest stage in front of everyone I know.
We'll enjoy this for the next however many days and see where we're at the end. One of us has to win, right?
That's right. Someone has to win, and should it be the Cubs, it will be the first time since 1908. And for Cleveland, their last World Series win was in 1948.
Cleveland is a city of champions once again.
But just a couple months ago, the Cleveland Cavaliers did finally give the city a reason to celebrate, and LeBron James says he is enjoying it all.
It's a day that will go down in history, for anyone that lives here. They will never forget it. So, I'm happy I'm a part of it.
Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
And a big night in Cleveland, just across the street from where the Indians are hosting the Cubs. There will be a ceremony honoring the Cavaliers finally getting their NBA championship rings. So a big night for Cleveland.
Some strange things happen when the Cubs and the Cleveland Indians are in the World Series. It doesn't happen very often.
No,
so,
it doesn't.
The stars are in a line here.
Decades and decades. Yeah.
It's amazing. The forecast, by the way, is calling for some showers possible, some light rainfall for the Fall Classic, and it looks like temperatures will be on the cool side to start the game at 50 degrees, which is cool considering spring training. They're typically playing in pretty nice weather down here, so it's going to be kind of chilly. Just a chance for a few showers, though, for the most part. As far as our weather is concerned, no chance for rain here. Dry air has moved in, and on top of that, upper level cloudiness has provided us with some interesting optical illusions, if you will, in the sky, and you can look at that optical phenomena, if you will. This one from Kimberly, she sent this one in from Lido. I believe this was around Lido that she shot this, and you can see a beautiful halo around the sun. And we had a sundog earlier, which appears to be a secondary sun that is a result of the refraction and reflection of the sun's light. And this one from Lido, Barbara Weintraub, getting this one, taking it through her glasses, her sunglasses there. Well, here's a look at the snow. It's falling over the northeast. Still some snow in Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, all the way through Montreal and Quebec. Some light snow there. And luckily, Cleveland going to see rainfall, not snow, but this is typical what you would see for a lake effect snow if it were a couple of weeks later. That would be possibly cold enough to produce some snow showers there, but it looks like a few showers are possible. As I mentioned, the rain chance not all that high, and if they do see any rainfall tonight, it shouldn't be all that heavy and should move through relatively quickly. For us, I mentioned no rain here, some showers down in the Florida Straits, but that will stay there. Right now it's 83 and mostly sunny with the clouds in the upper level of the atmosphere. Humidity at 42%. That's low. East winds are at 14. Temperatures statewide starting to get a little bit warmer. In places like Tallahassee, it's 85 now, 83 in Sarasota, 79 though in Orlando, and temperatures in the upper 70s in Avon Park, Sebring, and Lake Placid. Low to mid 80s right near the coast. The Gulf of Mexico temperature now cooling to 76 degrees. Bradenton now in the low 80s there. Tomorrow's high into the mid to upper 80s. So yes, indeed, getting a little bit warmer each and every day. We are anticipating that humidity to slowly come back, but it'll still be fairly nice. Not a summer like at all. Those winds staying out of the northeast and north throughout the day on Wednesday. They will pick up a little bit too, so boaters beware, especially in the afternoon. Winds and seas increasing a little bit as the pressure gradient tightens up a bit, and we could see that wind stay fairly strong, it looks like, right through Thursday and Friday for boaters as far as that goes. Well, in the tropics, all is quiet now, nothing going on, and it doesn't appear anything on the horizon at this point. The tail end of that front is down here in the Western Caribbean. We'll watch it. There's a flare-up of storms there, but no model suggesting any kind of development over the upcoming days, and all is quiet in the Gulf of Mexico. Just the way we like it here late in the season. Well, high pressure will get bumped a little bit off to the east as a weak frontal system starts to approach the Tennessee Valley and eventually fades away just to our north. High pressure will give us that easterly component of wind, so temperatures are going to stay right around seasonal averages for high temperatures and lows in that matter. Right now it's 54 in Columbus, Detroit at 51, and 71 though in Denver on the backside of that high pressure system. They're getting warm over the southern plains too at 81 in Dallas, 90 in Phoenix, and Houston at 82 degrees, Macon at 82. Well, for boaters tomorrow, I mentioned a little bit of a breeze, even that tonight 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be right around 2 feet with a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The forecast tonight a little warmer, mostly fair, some high variety of clouds moving by, 67, and slightly warmer still tomorrow, high of 86 in downtown Sarasota. East winds picking up a bit, 15 to 20 miles an hour, and then the extended forecast is still calling for temperatures to stay close to seasonal averages right through the next several days, even into early next week. Haley?
Thank you, Bob. Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. Traffic is backed up on US 41 in both the north and southbound lanes near Fruitville Road. In health news tonight, the Food and Drug Administration wants to improve hospital reporting of injuries and deaths associated with medical devices. Inspections at 17 hospitals revealed widespread underreporting of injuries and deaths. The FDA initiated these inspections following safety scandals involving devices that remove uterine fibroids and scopes used to treat problems in the pancreas and bile ducts. The FDA says many of the events uncovered at these 17 hospitals should have been reported and were not. In December, the FDA will hold a public workshop to improve hospital surveillance systems and see how hospitals can better evaluate the devices. A new report from the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends that parents share a room, but not a bed, with their baby for at least the first 6 months of the infant's life. According to the report, when babies sleep in a crib or bassinet in the parent's room, the risk of sudden infant death syndrome, known as SIDS, and suffocation is reduced by 50%. Ideally, the parent should continue to sleep in the same room as their child for the baby's first year. In a new approach to treat damage to articular cartilage, Swiss researchers successfully used cells harvested from the nose. They engineered grafts to replace damaged knee cartilage in a small group of patients. The early stage study was done on 10 patients ages 18 to 55, and it was published in The Lancet. Articular cartilage is the tissue on the end of a bone that cushions the surface of the joint. Damage is common and can lead to degenerative joint conditions such as osteoarthritis. Coming up, a woman extremely happy to see her 49th birthday, who she has to thank for saving her life after the car she was in crashed into a gas pump. Plus, a whole new meaning to a car chase. Why a man in Switzerland is now in trouble with the law for an incident on the highway.
ABC7's My Suncoast News app is better than ever with a brand new design that's faster and easier to use. Download our free My Suncoast News app on your mobile device at your app store of choice. Powered by the Eye Associates, providing sight for life. ABC7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you weeknights at 5.
Gold fever has once again swept the nation. And everyone is rushing to Florida to strike it doubly rich. Introducing the $5 million Gold Rush Doubler. We're doubling cash prizes for over $752 million in payouts. And 36 prizes from $1 million to $5 million. The Florida Gold Rush is on. The Florida Lottery, just imagine.
So many possibilities worth exploring. Minnesota Flooring.
And for a limited time, Minnesota Flooring is offering you unbelievable pricing on tile and laminate. Porcelain tile only $1.59. Ceramic tile 99 cents. And 16 by 16 tile $1.19. Laminate flooring is only 99 cents. But these prices won't last. Don't miss out on these great deals. Hurry into Minnesota Flooring today.
At Sunset Subaru in Sarasota, you'll always get the most for your money. More years, more miles, more 2016 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus winners than any other brand. And right now, you can lease the most award-winning small SUV on the planet. A new 2017 Subaru Forester for just $209 a month. Or get 0% financing. Complimentary maintenance included at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
You only have one life. Are you gambling with it? 1 in 3 adults have high blood pressure. Not knowing your numbers could cause you to lose, big time. Luckily, you can turn the odds in your favor by getting your blood pressure checked today. Don't leave your health to chance. Learn more at heart.org/HPV.
Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
A man is now safely back on dry land after he became stranded at sea. The Coast Guard came to the rescue of a 55-year-old man who was stranded on a disabled sailboat about 20 miles off the coast of Charleston, South Carolina. Coast Guard members lifted the man from the boat and he was flown to a hospital. His current condition is unknown. The sailboat was towed back to shore. A woman who got in a car accident on her way to her 49th birthday party in Miami will now get to live to see it, thanks to the help of some Good Samaritans. Sherry Smith was arguing with the driver of this car when he lost control and it flipped over, slamming into a gas pump. The accident caused a fiery explosion and Smith was trapped in the car. Some bystanders rushed in to get her out. Smith had the chance to meet with one of her rescuers to say thank you.
Glad you was there. Hope you always be with somebody. I know you always where somebody want or need you to be.
It's a blessing because, I mean, it makes me feel good about life, and it just shows that if you help a person, that it goes a long way.
Smith has 4 broken ribs and a fractured vertebrae, but is expected to be okay. Meanwhile, a man in Switzerland is taking a car chase a little too literally. He pulled over to talk to a truck driver on the side of a highway, which I don't think is ever advised. But apparently he did not put his car in park first. Definitely not advised. A surveillance video captured the car rolling toward the center of the highway with the man running behind it. The car hit the guardrail before it turned toward the side of the road, hitting a traffic sign there. Police are now looking for the man to get him to pay for the damages. Traffic in Arizona is for the birds. An emu decided to hit the road and headed straight for the freeway. State troopers were able to get it out of the road and used a lasso to catch it. They safely moved the emu onto a trailer and moved it to a safer location. Still to come on your Suncoast News, the last 2 weeks before the general election. As Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump work to get more support in Florida, we will show you just how big of an impact the Sunshine State could have on the results of that election. Straight ahead.
Stand out in your new wild Lexus. Lease a brand new 2017 Lexus ES 350 for only $379. Just $379 exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Getting older shouldn't mean giving up all the things she loves to do. It should just mean, well, finding new ways to do them. Right at Home's professional team thoughtfully selects caregivers to provide help with personal care, housekeeping, and of course, meal preparation.
Oh, that smells so good. Oh, and it tastes good too.
We can provide the right care right at home.
The celebration is heating up and the prices just keep getting better during the Jeep Celebration event going on now at Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota. Come shop the area's largest selection of Jeep Grand Cherokees or get big savings on a new Jeep Cherokee for as little as $19,999. Stop by today and drive away in a brand new Jeep Compass for just $15,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Sarasota.
Whether you're a homeowner looking for a professional installation or a contractor looking for top quality products, Sarasota Glass and Mirror can meet your every need.
For 42 years, Sarasota Glass & Mirror has been the area's premier supplier and installer of quality glass products for your home or business. As an authorized PGT WindGuard dealer, we know how to protect your home with everything from the PGT WindGuard impact-resistant windows and doors to shower enclosures and decorative mirrors. The Sarasota Glass & Mirror team has the knowledge to tackle any project.
Types of timber, cuts of meat, cooking times, temperatures, rubs, seasonings, sauces. You name it, they know it. That's what makes them who they are, Sonny's Pitmasters. And proud of it. Come get some baby back ribs at Sonny's Barbecue. On their own or paired with favorites like jalapeno cheddar hot links or pulled or sliced pork plus 2 sides and bread. Sonny's Barbecue. Local Pitmasters since '68.
Stand out in your new Wild Lexus. Lease a new Lexus RX 350 for only $419. Just $419, exclusively at Wild Lexus of Sarasota on Clark Road.